Hello, and welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. In this series, which I've entitled D&D Pitfalls, we're going to be talking about common missteps that DMs and players can make in their Dungeons & Dragons games. This first episode is called Saying No, and it's specifically targeted at Dungeon Masters. We've all been there. You're sitting at the table, the session's going pretty well, and you come up on an obstacle. Maybe it's a trap, a puzzle, an NPC that's not negotiating with you the way you'd like, an enemy that stands in your way. And you come up with a clever, creative solution. You explain it to the party, you explain it to the Dungeon Master, you say, I would like to try to do this, and the Dungeon Master says, no. Maybe he doesn't just say no. Maybe he or she says, well, you don't think that's a good idea. Or, well, let's not do that right now. Or, well, that's not going to work. And you as a player feel shot down. You feel like you're not valued at the table. You feel like, why even try to be creative because I'm just getting shot down here. Don't feel bad. It's on the DM. So that's why this video is targeted at Dungeon Masters. Really, unless your party is routinely asking if they can kick orcs into the sun, no shouldn't really factor into your vocabulary when you're talking to your players. You should be rewarding your players for coming up with things you didn't think of, for thinking of good solutions and creative strategies. A lot of DMs feel that they need to be the guiding force, the lighthouse on the water guiding the ship in, but really, the DM should be weaving the plot and the progression of the campaign around the player's actions and motivations. If your player says something or comes up with an idea that derails your campaign or completely destroys the scene that you were working on or completely catches you off guard, resist the temptation to flat out say no. Now, I'm not saying here that you let your players do whatever they want and everything works. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I am saying take your players' ideas and actions and thoughts into consideration and work with them. So let's take an example. The player characters come up on a wooden shack, and an orc raider has taken the family inside hostage. The wizard says, I would like to cast Burning Hands on the cottage to try and smoke the orc out. You as a DM think, well, the family's in there. If he uses Burning Hands and catches the cottage on fire, they're just as likely to die as the half-orc. So instead of saying, no, you can't do that, simply say, you can do that if you want. Bear in mind that the family is in there with the half-orc, so maybe think about a different spell that you can maybe use to try and goad the half-orc out of the house. That is a really good idea, though, so let's try and work with that. So you're not shutting the player down completely, but you are saying, you might want to rethink that. I don't think you want to kill the family. And if the player says, no, I'm totally okay with killing the family, my whole goal is to just get the orc out of there, then sure, go ahead, see what happens. But the player might not think about that. They might say, oh, right, the family's in there. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to use Magic Missile instead. I've got the sniping feat, so I don't have to have direct line of sight. I'm going to send that Magic Missile through the window and hit the orc right in the head. And DM goes, bam, you got it. And that's more rewarding for the Dungeon Master and the player because it's supposed to be collaborative. Not just between the players, but the DM as well. Some of my favorite moments as a Dungeon Master is when all of a sudden I forget that I'm the Dungeon Master and I'm leaning forward and like strategizing with the players and like, oh yeah, and you guys could do this too. And then all of a sudden I realize, oh wait, I'm supposed to be the Dungeon Master, and I kind of sit back, and let the players do their thing. But I mean, that's really what it's all about, is collaboration, creative thinking, storytelling together. And if you're the type of DM that says, no, you can't do that, do this instead. No, you can't do that. No, try something else. Your players are going to stop being creative altogether, and your campaigns are going to run along on the rails like a good choo-choo train. So the next time you catch yourself saying no, say, let me think about that, or let's talk about that. Get in the habit of collaborating and conversing with your players and letting them have fun. So that's going to be it from me, guys. Take care and happy gaming all.